Once upon a time, in a small village tucked between rolling hills and wide rivers, there lived a young man named Elias. From the outside, his life seemed ordinary. He had a modest home, simple clothes, and a small garden he tended every morning. But inside, Elias carried a dream that seemed too big for his small village, too bright for the quiet life he had grown up in. He wanted to climb the great peak, the tallest mountain in the region, whose summit was hidden above the clouds. Everyone in the village said it was impossible. "It's too dangerous," they warned. "No one has ever reached the top." But Elias did not see it as impossible. He saw it as a challenge, a chance to discover who he could truly become. Elias began his journey with little more than determination, a worn-out backpack, and a heart full of hope. The first few days were easy. The trails were familiar, the air was fresh, and the sun warmed his face. He walked with a light heart, dreaming of the view from the summit, imagining the feeling of standing above the clouds. But soon, the path became steeper. Rocks tore at his shoes, and the wind howled like a warning. Rain poured from dark clouds, soaking him to the bone. He slipped, fell, and sometimes sat on the cold ground, questioning whether he had made the right choice. "Maybe they were right," he whispered to himself. "Maybe I am not strong enough." One night, huddled in a small cave, Elias looked up at the stars through a crack in the rock. He thought about his life, about all the times he had given up when things were hard. But he also remembered moments when he had pushed through, when he had learned something new, helped a friend, or finished a task he thought impossible. And in that moment, he made a decision. "I will not give up," he said quietly. "Not because I know I will succeed, but because giving up is not who I am. Even if I fail, I will fail standing, not kneeling." The next morning, the sun rose, painting the sky with colors Elias had never imagined. He felt renewed. The climb was harder than ever, the air thinner, the wind sharper, and the snow deeper. But he kept going, step by step, breath by breath. When his legs trembled and his hands ached, he reminded himself why he started. He remembered the dream that had lit a fire inside him long ago. Days turned into weeks. Elias faced storms that seemed endless, nights so cold that warmth was only a memory, and cliffs so high that looking down made his heart pound. But each time he wanted to quit, he thought of the mountain not just as a physical peak, but as a symbol of his inner strength. He realized that the real climb was not up the mountain. It was up from his own fears, doubts, and insecurities. Finally, after weeks of relentless effort, Elias reached the summit. The clouds swirled around him like a living ocean of white. The sun broke through, casting golden light on the valleys below. Elias stood there, exhausted but alive, and felt something he had never felt before. A sense of triumph so deep that it could not be described in words. He realized that the mountain had not only tested his body, but had shaped his soul. Every slip, every cold night, every doubt had been a teacher. He understood that the climb was never about the peak itself. It was about the courage to start, the resilience to continue, and the belief that he was capable of more than he had ever imagined. When Elias returned to his village, he was no longer the same man. His neighbors saw a stranger with a bright smile and eyes that held the depth of the skies he had walked through. But Elias knew the truth. The journey never ends. Every day offers a new mountain to climb, a new challenge to overcome. And the real victory is not in reaching the top, but in refusing to stop trying. And so, Elias lived his life as a reminder to everyone who would listen. No matter how high the mountain, no matter how hard the climb, courage, perseverance, and belief in yourself will always lead you forward. Because the greatest peak you will ever climb is not out there in the world. It is within you. Ending affirmation for listeners. If you face fear, walk through it. If you feel tired, keep moving. If the world says no, believe yes. The mountain may be high, but your spirit is higher. Keep climbing. You are stronger than you know.